Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It's Tuesday, November 15th, Shelby County Supervisors. Any conflict of interest on the agenda today, guys?
None.
No, sir.
Okay. Have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Darren. All those in favor say aye.
There's one item I put in there, number 11 should be after 12, but that's just a minor.
Okay.
Just switch those two around.
Yep, I can do that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Claims for October 31st. Any changes, Mark, or anything?
No.
Have a motion to approve the claims as presented, or anybody have any questions about them? Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Darren.
Second.
Second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of the minutes for November 10th. Any corrections there, Mark?
Nope. Everything.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes for November 10th as presented?
Motion.
Motion by Darren, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Wellness Coordinator report. Melissa, why don't you come up here to the chair. Good morning.
Good morning. So we had one employee that did not get a physical, but they did complete the assessment.
Okay.
We did meet our 5% discount,
Yeah.
but we did
That's
not
about,
have 100% participation.
$55,000
Yep.
is our discount.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks to the employees for that.
Yep. So how do we want to reward the employees that did go get a physical?
Been giving that some
Even
thought because I don't know about you guys, but I feel it's not fair that one person can take away the incentive from everybody. We have no, including yourself because of HIPAA, we have no control or even department heads of who that person is.
Yep.
The big goal here is to meet our 5% discount, like I said, which amounts to about $55,000. That's pretty huge, and we need 80% participation on physicals to accomplish that. And we need 60% participation in online assessments.
Yep.
So a proposal, after giving it some thought, a proposal I would like to put out there to discuss is if we meet our physicals of 80% and our online assessment of 60, so I'm going to call it 80-60, then all the employees who participated would get $100. Okay? Then if we meet 90% participation with physicals, you would get an extra $50. And if we meet 100%, you would also get an additional $50. So it'd be a maximum of $200. Okay? Because I'm surprised it hasn't come up before. Maybe we've taken it for granted too much, but we never gave it a lot of thought. But expecting 100% participation and putting all the reward, which we had $150, we said we'd give for 100% and nothing else. Again, that's not really fair for the people who did do what they were asked to do. That's my opinion. And then also, we had a $500 bonus for the wellness coordinator for meeting that 100% participation. I'd like to break that down also to $300 for meet the 80-60 and $400 if we get to 90% and $500 total if we get 100%. So it'd be the same as we had before, but we're just enacting it a little sooner because the main goal here is to meet our 5% reduction. Thoughts, comments?
How do you feel about that?
I think that's good. Yeah.
It's a lot more fair.
Yeah.
That way the people aren't,
For the minutes, to make sure we get it right, I want to make sure that's for next year.
No, that's starting today. That's for this year's.
That's for this year because
I don't think it's fair.
What the supervisors determined last spring, last winter, whatever, didn't happen.
Right.
And so you're proposing this instead.
Right. It causes us to take a step back and look at it. We threw all our eggs in one basket with having no control over it. That's my feeling.
Yep. And since you know, I've talked to other auditors what they do for this. They go, how do you get 100%?
I know. That's
I
what-
said, I don't know.
Right.
And they said, we have people, there's no way they'd go get a physical.
Would you say no to Bryce?
Yeah. There you go.
That's how you
No,
get
I agree.
100%.
And we've been spoiled,
So,
but we also put all our eggs in
I
one
think-
basket.
I think the employees need to be
Rewarded.
rewarded for what
Yes.
they do.
oh yeah.
I mean, without them, we couldn't do that.
Right. And like you said, doesn't happen in a lot of the other counties. Bryce, what's your input on this? You're
I think
around.
it's fair to do that. Now that we can't find out who has and who hasn't done
Right.
it.
Because when did that change?
Just this year.
Just this year?
Yeah, and the strange thing is, after October 31st, they sent us a readout that showed who didn't do it. So it's like, what changed before to after?
That was gonna be my question, is
Yeah.
what changed from
Yeah.
before for the department heads for accountability?
Why is it HIPAA then
Right.
and not now? So,
And again, like I stated, these rewards are only to the people that participate. Doesn't go to everybody. So you need to participate. Okay? Everybody okay with that?
I am.
So 100, 150, and 200, right?
So the wellness coordinator will split up everybody and figure out who gets paid what, correct?
Yeah, we're participating.
Yeah.
What would our total liability be then at $200 for how many employees are we talking?
Well, we won't have 200 this year, it'll be 150.
No,
Yeah,
oh, you're gonna do 150 this year.
Well, no, because we didn't meet the 100, so
Right.
that 50's gone.
yep.
We met the 90,
Okay, so we're doing 100.
100 plus 50, because we met the 90%.
Okay.
So we just didn't meet the 100%.
Okay.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
But I'm just asking, how many employees do we have involved in this?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'd say
60?
I
60.
think there was 60 contracts.
That's the number I was
It's a
thinking.
$1,200,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're saving
And actually,
55,000.
that's pretty minimum for what we're getting.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I
I
said,
appreciate them participating and being as a team, because it reflects on all of us.
Yes.
But we need to keep moving here.
Okay, I'll make that motion that we go with the.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we'll be going with the proposal for 80/60 of $100, 90% an additional 50, and 100% additional 50, and the wellness coordinator
Yeah, they have to.
to 80/60 with 300, 90% 400, 100% 500. All those, you're making the motion, Darren?
Yes.
Charlie seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brandon, secondary roads.
Good morning,
Good
gentlemen.
morning.
Item I have on the agenda is utility permit with NIPCO, proposing to put in about a mile of fiber along F58. They have their insurance in, they're not crossing into any private property, it's all on public right of way, and they have their bond.
Do they cross any roads?
They're crossing one road, but it'll be bored.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
everything's turned in, they're good to go, so.
Motion?
Second?
Motion by Darren, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried for the utility permit for NIPCO.
Other than that, in the office, starting to work on budgets, 5-year plan. We're getting right close to that now, so. And then probably start with the foreman here in the next week or two, getting the roads to pull in, culverts and bridges that we're thinking about in the next couple of years, so. Yeah, it's a fun time of year. Get a look at the whole county as the whole county, so. Yeah. Other than that, guys are ditching on 2200th, and we're replacing a tube that was getting ready to fail on Vine, north of F16. The bridge crew's finishing a culvert on 1400th east of Wildwood. They're got that about whipped, so it looks really good there. Guys in the shop prepping trucks for winter. Got a little bit of a dusting in the southeast corner of the county this morning, so I think we kind of missed it. It went around us, so we'll take that every time. But
Some salt and sand.
Yep, we're full. Building's full of salt, so sand, it's mixed and we're ready to go whenever it hits us, so.
Okay.
And then we're changing, we got one truck that changes from a belly dump in the summer to a dump truck in the winter, so we'll get that changed here in the next week probably. Blade guys are all out fixing potholes and washboards and just kind of prepping roads for winter, and we're going to order another 10-foot train car culvert. I emailed the guy and they had some in stock, so
Awesome.
it's nice to have one that come down quite a bit since the last
Really?
time we quoted them. They kind of follow scrap metal price,
Okay.
so I was worried about delivery costs more than anything, but it's about $18,000 for one.
I
So
thought you said there was a bunch of other people jumping on the bandwagon and there's gonna be a shortage of them.
that's kind of what he told us, I think, to get us to bite on one that was about 10,000 more than this one, and we thankfully didn't buy that, and now they've kind of regulated.
So availability, we can get it fairly soon?
Yep, yeah, if I
By
tell him,
spring
it'll
and-
probably be here by the end of the week.
Oh,
So,
Just getting one.
yep, we have one in stock, but it's spoken for, so it's nice to have another one, just in case. And they're invaluable, and trying to get a riveted 10-foot pipe right now would be like finding a unicorn. It just, they'd probably tell you it's 8 to 10 months out.
okay.
So, that's all I have for today.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Safety Coordinator Jake Holloway on seatbelt policy and return to work policy. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Jake.
There he is. I don't know if you guys want a copy of one.
I got
You
you.
guys, yeah. So I met with the IMWCA work comp gentleman as I just took over, so he wanted to come meet me and said we needed to update some of our policies, our return to work and our seatbelt policy. The seatbelt policy, we had to update to keep our discounts through work comp through them. So I'm just looking for an amendment to put it into our safety policy book. And you still follow the state law with the seatbelts, but this policy is pretty much for the equipment side, off-road vehicles, saying if it has a seatbelt, you have to wear it. They've been having trouble with people getting in equipment, not wearing the seatbelt, getting bashed around in it, have shoulder injury. This is, if it has a seatbelt, you have to wear it.
That's why they're there, right?
Right. And it also says people can't be, no riding in the box of pickups or riding on the steps of a loader or anything like that. It's gone. So looking for, put that in there, and then I don't know if you want to do them separate or this one.
So what are our consequences if somebody does do that? What if they're caught not
Caught not,
wearing that seat belt?
we will write them up for verbal warning the first time, I'm
What
assuming.
if they actually have an accident when it happens? Then
The
they're-
workman's comp will not.
It won't
If
pay.
we can prove that they weren't wearing their seatbelt, then they will not pay for it.
Right. That's a big
It'll be on
consequence to them.
it'll be on the employee themselves.
Okay.
No, that's a very good idea.
Okay. And then
We'll do
the,
these in one.
Well, yeah, we'll just do these together.
okay, and then the
Is that
return
all right
to
with you,
work,
Mark?
the return to work policy, that'll be an amendment to this is in the employee handbook actually. So this is, the return to work policy is pretty much the same, but they added on the back side of it pretty much is that we as the employer, Shelby County, can make them sign a paper stating that we go off of their limitations that their doctor's note goes off of, saying they can't lift 10 pounds or 20 pounds, whatever, that we can write up a agreement saying we have work for you to do, even if it's like shredding paper or writing up maps or whatever we got, office work.
Other
That
assigned
keeps
duties?
them, yeah, that keeps them at work. It's better for the county and the
Workman's
employee
comp.
themselves. They benefit because they'll be still collecting a paycheck.
Right.
But if they refuse to sign it, they will pretty much, their benefits could be affected through workman's comp. Workman's comp won't pay them. they would either, then the county's not gonna pay them their wage because they're not working, and they could be having to use their own sick time or vacation, or take unpaid leave, I guess.
This is something they sign at the time of the
Yep,
injury?
Yep, after,
accident?
yeah,
Okay.
after we get the doctor's note.
I'm just gonna say the doctor still has to approve light duty.
Yep, and then it doesn't
They're
say,
gonna go back to work.
they can't come back to work under full duty until we get that doctor's note saying that they are cleared fully.
No, that's good.
So,
And there's come a recommendation from
from the IMWCA,
Okay,
the work comp.
okay.
I'll make the motion
Okay,
to
any other
approve.
questions? Okay, motion by Charlie to approve return to work and the seatbelt policy. Second by Darren. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thanks for your work.
Thank you.
And
Thanks, Jake.
Angel up there has a notebook with everything in order, and if you
Okay.
need to know where to put it, she
Okay.
could look
Is
it up.
Carolyn out
and,
there?
You know, put it in exactly the right place.
Okay, yeah,
It's
We
just
can make
senior
a copy of
blood.
it.
okay, yeah, I can go up there and see.
Yeah, and then the handbook, we put it in the policy first, and then when we open up the can of worms, it's the handbook, then we insert it in there
Okay.
at a later date.
Okay.
That's the
That'll
way
work.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
it's been
you.
handled in the past.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
That's okay, isn't it? Just leave it in the policy, then we insert it into the handbook.
Morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
Morning.
I think I heard my name anyway,
Yep.
right? Okay.
You got your department
There's a
report
few-
and your 2080 agreement with DOT?
And then there's also one more thing down, a couple more spots about mobile home.
Yeah, switching it
Yep.
around.
Yep.
Do we want to do it all at once?
Yep.
Okay. Got it. So we'll start off with the 28E agreement, which since this was quite lengthy, 14 pages, as you
Yep,
know, I
you had sent-
emailed that out to you
Yep.
ahead of time, but there's copies for you.
And you had said
Just go-
Marcus had looked this over and didn't have any issues with
They
it?
didn't have any.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the DOT has updated our county issuance agreement for all counties who issue driver's license to have this completed, reviewed and signed by myself, our county attorney, who Marcus said he did not have any issues with this, and then signed by the chairman of the board. It outlines the responsibilities for the county to do the collection and accounting for the fees and penalties associated with the licensing process and DOT standards. Just real quickly, just a couple of the things that have changed or that have been added through the DOT is a requirement to notify the DOT if a county does not have at least one person offering non-commercial drives, so our car drives, and the requirement to have a replacement drive examiner within 60 days unless arrangements are made with the DOT. So currently we have one in our office that is a car drive examiner, and then another one that's working towards that. So we have a backup plan. And a requirement to maintain an internet connection for our something new, Safe Driving Basics, which is a cognitive screening tablet that we have to use with some of our customers. So we have to have an internet connection for that, and we have to take them to a private area and have them do certain cognitive tests on a tablet, and we have to have an internet connection for that. Requirement for all driving and skills test examiners to have a valid driver's license, and the requirement for the county to notify the DOT if an examiner's driver's license is sanctioned. So for any one of our drive examiners, whether it be motorcycle, CDL, or the car drive examiner, we have to let the DOT know if their license has been suspended for any reason. There's also some clarification that the DOT will retrain and recertify all driving skills test examiners if either the commercial or non-commercial skills test is redesigned. So like if something changes within our CDL's course or the motorcycle course or the car drive, the DOT has to come out and retrain them and recertify them when those changes take place. In fact, I just got off the phone with our driver's license supervisor right now. She's coming out to do their annual review of our drive examiner here next week. So they do that on an annual basis to make sure that we are all in compliance with the DOT. Then also with the ELDT being something new that just went into effect in February, we are required to check a CDL applicant's entry-level driving training completion status prior to administrating the CDL knowledge or skills test. Clarifying that the county has the authority to issue CDLs and conduct CDL knowledge testing or skills testing if applicable, which for us it is. We are a CDL compliant testing station. requirement for CDL knowledge and skills test examiners to complete the federal CCKE and CCE training every 4 years, which we are good on that. And then the new county authority to assess and collect the $25 CDL skills testing fees, which we are doing. We have implemented just for the scheduling portion of it until the DOT gets something put in place with the computer to keep track of that. We're just doing the one-time $25 upfront fee. Also, a requirement to notify the DOT if a county CDL skills test examiner intends to conduct skills for another county, being a third-party location. So if Dan, our CDL drive examiner, wants to go to other locations and do the same thing as what he does here for us in Shelby County, we have to notify the DOT. And let's see, I believe that's the gist of it. The last time the agreement was signed with the DOT was in July of 2017. So if there aren't any questions, you would be willing to sign if now's a good time.
Do I have
to
a motion to approve the
make that
2080
motion.
agreement with DOT? Motion by Darren, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Yep. And then you have tax abatement on mobile home.
Correct. So we've done this a few times in the past. We recently had a mobile home down at Westridge Acres Mobile Home Park that was removed. And that we issued a junking certificate, a DOT junking certificate on that. The mobile home has been removed. And with mobile homes, the taxes are current, meaning you're not a year behind in paying the taxes, they are current. Similar to like a car registration, your annual car registration. So they did pay, what I gave you was a tax statement. You'll see that there's a zero balance owing for the September payment. They did pay those up to date current, but I'm requesting for the March 2023 taxes in the amount of $55 to be removed from and abated, since the mobile home is no longer there.
Okay. Any questions?
Second.
Motion by Darren, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Just so everybody knows, this is nothing unusual. We have these come in here every once in a while, so
Right.
appreciate you staying on top of that.
Once the mobile home's removed, there's nothing to tax on anymore, so.
Mobile.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And then, do you have time now, or do you want me to wait for the department quarterly report? Or
You can
do have a
give
couple
right
days?
now, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So, just one thing in going through the CDL notice on there with the ELDT, just want to remind people, those CDL drivers who took the CDL testing before February 7th, before that ELDT went into effect, the date is nearing for having to get the drive test portion of that completed before you have to take the ELDT. So as you may remember here, about a year ago, we had an uptick of a lot of CDL customers coming in to take the test on the computer, and they were issued a CIP, just a permit for the CDL. And those people are nearing the end where they have to have their skills and their drive portion done. So we are seeing an uptick with the CDL drives to get that accomplished here recently too. So just a reminder for those who want to avoid having to go through the ELDT training, you might want to be calling to get that scheduled for your CDL drive. And with Cass County still not doing any of the drives, we're seeing a lot of car drives and CDL drives coming from that area too. And then last week, Harrison County unfortunately experienced a water pipe break, and they were flooded, and it completely destroyed all of their driver's license issuance and testing stations. So we got a lot of people here from Harrison County last week due to their flood. They're back in business now. They've got some used equipment from the DOT, but last week we were getting a lot of calls from over that direction too, and helping those customers there. Just kind of want to show you this. It's just a little bit of information. I was at a meeting here recently where the DOT shared some information with us. This is just a little chart of how many blackout plates have been issued. Just it's just on a steady upward trend, that 487,000 blackout plates, the black plates with the white lettering on, has been issued. And that money goes towards the road use fund tax. So 25.4 million in revenue has been created by those blackout plates for the state of Iowa. So huge. Something so simple as black and white, but it's sure taken off. And you would think that that would be more on a pie chart, but the standard plates still represent 85% of the plates in Iowa, and only 10% of that is the blackout plates, which is in the orange shaded area. So, but they are very, very popular, I will say. Here in the last couple of years, I hadn't really been bidding out much for CDs because the interest rates were so low, but we're seeing that come back. So starting to bid out a little bit more with the county funds now. Bid out for $1 million worth last week and got 3.9% interest on that. So that's good. And then the Federal Reserve is going to be meeting in mid-December again, and we'll determine where they kind of go from there. So mid-December, I'll try to send out another bid and see where we're at with that. And money market's coming back up a little bit, so that's good too. That's kind of our reserve there, because I never know what claims are going to be, so we kind of keep some money in there too to have that fluid in there. Currently, as of yesterday, when I pulled some numbers here, we just have 272 parcels that are considered delinquent from our September property tax collections, which surprisingly, that's less than in years past for delinquencies this time of year. We sent out about 50 less delinquent tax notices on November 1st. Every November, we're required by law to send out delinquent notices on those property taxes. So they were a few less this year, which is surprising considering what the economy is like right now. But in good shape that way too.
Good.
Any questions?
No.
All right.
You guys?
Thanks,
Okay.
Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you very much. Have a good
Appreciate
day.
it. Alex Londo, radio report, EMA. Morning, Alex.
Morning.
That's radio.
That's what I'm reporting on. Just wanted to give everybody a quick update on the radios. So it's kind of been a hurry up and wait process since this whole thing has started.
Put it up on the table.
Oh yeah,
for them.
that's the radio. Well, one of them. So it's been a lot of hurry up lately. So 2 weeks ago, Thursday, so about a week and a half ago, they delivered all of the portable radios. They're completely programmed, and we've gotten all but 2 departments delivered. We have 2, so we've got 2 more to get them out to. They're going to be offering training on these portable radios on the 29th and 30th of this month. We're going to be working with departments to get them set up on who they can get there for that and how that's going to look. And then we're also going to be having a in-house training at our ESA meeting on Thursday. Just a quick, here's how they work type of a deal, because they're a lot different than what we currently have. We've had a lot of instances, especially this last field fire season, where we could have used it because I'm sure you guys have seen on the news, had a lot of fires that our county has helped other counties with in our area, and they've been on channels that would have been in these radios but not on our current ones. So we tried to get them out quickly because we didn't know what was going to happen in the near term. The truck radios are also in. We don't have them in our office yet. They're at the programming shop. They're getting tuned and programmed. I should be hearing back on that in the next week or 2 of when they're going to start installing those. But they're going to go to each department and install them in the trucks individually. So they're making progress on that as well. And then as far as the console radios for dispatch, those are installed in the basement for training. They have a couple more pieces to put in and they're waiting on, and then they're going to bring them upstairs so that our dispatch center will be operational on them as well. So we're almost there as far as being fully completed. The big hurdle that we have now is the tower out back of our office. We had a structural analysis done, and we've talked about it at some of our EMA meetings, and we found that our tower out back would not support the microwave dish that we were quoted and needed to put in for the consoles to work. The microwave dish would essentially link the tower and the consoles at dispatch to the tower at the state site. And then they would use another system as a backup. And then we would have a third system as kind of a tertiary in case, worst case scenario, we would have that. Since we don't have the microwave, we've had to go to our backup system as our primary and our tertiary system as our backup. We've had some structural analysis done, some more structural analysis done, and some tower studies done that our office is going to cover the cost of about $5,000. And so far, I haven't gotten an exact price, but what they're saying we need to do is put about, tie each leg of the tower together in about 2 feet of concrete, and the estimates are coming in at between $100,000 and $200,000. So to make it structurally fit enough to put this microwave dish up. Since we don't know exactly what the fate of all this is going to be, and there's so many unknowns, what I've told Motorola to do is stop order on the microwave for now, just because there's no point in us having a piece of equipment on site that we can't put up. We can always order it later. We haven't paid for it yet. It's still part of the cost, and this is something that our engineer told us to do, is just don't order it, just have it sit there and figure out what you're going to do with the tower. And if we, if it's looking like it's going to be $100,000 and there's a different system or a different way we can do this, it's going to be cheaper.
But we discussed most of those options, didn't we, Alex? And there's not going to be anything cheaper than this, is there?
I don't think so. But I don't know.
Is the tower okay if we didn't put the microwave on it?
They're saying it's not structurally sound as it stands right now. It's overloaded now. But but I don't know. What they're quoting is to add the microwave to it to put that 2 feet of concrete in. So what I'll have to see, and what I want somebody who's an engineer who can actually explain the 75-page report to me in layman's terms, is all of that required to have it pass now, or is it required with the addition of the microwave? And I haven't gotten anybody to give me a firm answer on that yet.
How far up does a microwave go on the tower?
It's about just under 3/4 of the way up the tower. So, and that's the other problem.
Is it pretty heavy?
It's about 100 pounds.
But it's the 6 foot, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's about 6 feet.
So
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
But they did say that the tower itself, the metal structure, is fine.
The metal structure, it's the foundation.
It's just the foundation.
Yeah. And it was the soil compaction and the foundation that was failing the analysis on the structure.
So you do have the one bid, and that's for like 200,000 then?
I don't have any official bids in.
Okay.
So they gave me the report, which I sent out to my commission, or my executive committee. They haven't given me any official bids yet. They're trying, and the other thing is they're getting bids from wherever Pyramid is pulling bids from to get this work done, which is the tower company that did the analysis. I haven't gotten any local bids to do the work. So I don't know if they're getting Chicago, New York prices, or if we're getting Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska.
What's our other option?
Well, the other option that we have is to, so right now we're going to be tied in with what's called the ICN, which is the Iowa Communications Network. It's a fiber network. We could add, they're called consolettes, which is basically singular radios, and they're about $16,000, $8,000 to $16,000, depending on the kind you get and the size you get, for each individual talk group that we would need for the console. And we would need roughly 15 to 20 of them. So that's also not very...
So then we have to have another radio?
Yeah, you'd have to have more radio and more space downstairs.
We just get this set up to fit what we're doing.
It's more complicated too. Now, if they do this work on the tower, are they going to have to take what's up there now down while they're doing this, or can they do this work while they're...
See, that's another question I don't know the answer to yet.
Want us to put us out of it.
Yeah, and I'm giving you a lot of this information, and I haven't had the official meeting with them for them to explain it to me yet. We were supposed to have this stuff answered, and so I could give you a full briefing on it on the end of October, and they've kept pushing the dates back. They've just finally given me the report at the end of last week, and then once they said they don't want to give us have a full meeting and explain everything until they get all the bids back. So we're still waiting to get that done.
But we shouldn't need to be concerned that we don't have this microwave dish.
Not currently. We'll be able to work.
Okay.
No, we'll be able to work, and it'll work. We'll be operational, and it's not going to delay anything in the process because we have workarounds for it. The microwave is just going to be our backup for if something goes down and the ICN gets cut, basically.
Looks to me like the tower needs to get
And
beefed up anyway and get it set up for that. You
Yeah.
guys should have reserves for something like this.
well, we have some. We used a lot of our reserves in helping purchase the radios, and then the other reserves that we had were spent down previous to me. So we don't have a lot of reserves, but we do have some. So we'll just have to see again what the bids are going to come back to and kind of where we stand at the end of the
Do you think
fiscal
we can
year.
have some by budget time?
I'll have some reserves, yeah.
No, some bids.
Oh, some bids, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have some bids by budget
Yeah,
time.
looks like we need to move forward with
Yes,
this.
I should have had bids now, but I just don't
Okay.
have them by this meeting. So that's kind of what we know as of now.
Okay, appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Alex.
Thank you. Is Wendy out there?
Yep, she's out there.
Good morning.
Hi,
Hi, Wendy.
everybody.
It's in the cheap seats out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So good morning.
morning.
Just want to thank you for your continued support of West Central Community Action. We are requesting $3,500 this year, which is an increase of $500 from last year. Since we have not asked for an increase since 2016. And we would appreciate any other additional funding you could provide us. But the funding is used for outreach services, which includes admin, any local match requirements that we have, and any additional supporting needs that we may need in Shelby County. With you, I handed out a packet of information of the services that we've provided. On page 1, it just talks about our client demographics over the past year. We served over 500 households, which consisted of almost 1,300 individuals. Of those that we served, 42% were single persons, 54% have an income below the 100% poverty guideline, 48% are on fixed monthly income, 43% are between the ages of 18 and 59 years of age, and 59% of client households rent their home. On page 3, it starts talking about the services that we provided. We offer Head Start, which promotes school readiness for children ages 3 to 5 by offering a variety of services such as educational, nutritional, health, and social. We have one Head Start classroom in Shelby County that's located in Harlan, and it serves a total of 16 children. We are excited that we have a new partnership with the Harlan Community School District. So it started in August, so we're serving an additional 16 children within the school district. And Early Head Start, that provides support to low-income infants and toddlers and pregnant women and their families. We operate a center-based Early Head Start option in Shelby County right here in Harlan that serves 8 children. And we're also in the process of opening a second Early Head Start classroom. We'll serve an additional 8 children. So as soon as we get it staffed, we'll be opening that classroom as well. On page 4, Child Care Resource and Referral. They assist families in selecting child care providers who best meet their needs. They also work with providers who are registered and ones that want to become registered, and help them participate in the quality rating system to really improve overall care. There were 21 child care programs with a capacity of 484 spaces listed with CCR&R. One out of 7 child development homes were participants in the QRS rating system, and 2 out of the 6 preschools. Child and Adult Care Food Program, or CACFP. That program really promotes good nutrition and positive eating habits with children who are in registered family child care homes. We did have 62 children in child care at 3 home providers that participated in that program this last year. Weatherization. That helps households increase their energy efficiency and save money on their fuel costs. We assisted 2 households with over $50,000 worth of services. On page 5, LIHEAP, which is our energy assistance program. It helps low-income households pay a portion of their residential heating costs during the winter months. We assisted 401 households for over $204,000. They also received 2 additional supplemental payments over the year for another $146,000 for a total of over $351,000. So we also help with energy crisis payments. So those are who might need help with furnace repairs or replacements, fuel delivery, reconnect fees, service continuity and cooling. We assisted 104 households for a total of almost $77,000. We also had ARPA ESIP funding, which assisted another 122 households for $58,000, for a total of $135,000 just in crisis payments over this past year. We do have a new federal program, which is the Low Income Home Water Assistance Program, or LIWAP. So that helps pay past due water and sewer bills. And we assisted 122 households for almost $70,000 in water payments. We also do Embrace Iowa, which is a holiday fundraising program that's ran through the Des Moines Register. 8 households received assistance for over $5,000. On page 6, our food pantry. So that's at our outreach office here in Harlan. So it helps residents who need emergency food up to 6 times per year, more if there's extenuating circumstances. We assisted 100, and this is unduplicated count, so we assisted 187 households that were made up of 466 individuals. We have the Family Development and Self-Sufficiency Program, or FADS. That program really works with at-risk families who have children and who are at 175% or below of the federal poverty guideline. And they provide intense case management services to help them gain self-sufficiency. Last year, 3 families in Shelby County benefited from that program. And then on page 7, we have WIC. That serves pregnant and postpartum women, infants, and children under 5. We served 197 participants, and approximately almost $50,000 worth of food vouchers were distributed in Shelby County, and most of those are spent at local grocery stores. On page 8, shows the program dollars and value that go directly to clients and local vendors, which totaled over $1.2 million during fiscal year 22. And then the next page shows the admin and delivery costs. We want to keep our admin under 5 and delivery under 20, and we accomplished both of those things at 3.28% and almost 15%. And then the last page just shows a summary. As you can see, over $1.4 million worth of services were provided by West Central over the past year. And on behalf of the employees and the board of directors, I want to thank you for your continued support. And I also want to thank Charlie. He's on our board and is wonderful support. He's also our board president. So he does a fantastic job, and really appreciate the time that he puts in with us.
Well, he got his board now.
He does a great job, so I really appreciate it.
They do the job. You guys do a good job.
Yeah. I understand there's a real shortage in the food pantry.
Yeah, so we actually right now is a really good time for us, Thanksgiving, so we've had several organizations that really stepped up and donated, but we could, because our food pantry is strictly 100% donation based, so we rely on Shelby County, but you all do great, I will say, but any food that can be spared, yes, we would greatly appreciate it, so yes.
She handles the region. She does a very good job.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate that, Charlie. So
You help a lot of families.
yes, we try to. So
So I appreciate what you
absolutely.
do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you trying to What are you trying to increase the budget to for next year?
Well, so our Cs, most of our outreach offices are funded by the Community Service Block Grant, and so we received a cut. Basically, they redo the funding every 10 years, and so our population of our service area has decreased, so we're getting cut, so which means all our outreach offices are cutting, so most of the funding will help supplement the outreach offices, so.
So the money that they're asking for is
Very minimal.
Yeah, minimal.
And compare to what we're getting back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything would be greatly appreciated. So I appreciate it. So.
Well, for now, should we go with a motion to approve the $3,500, which is a $500 increase? Like I said, they haven't asked for any increase since 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion and second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks, Rob. See you later.
Thank you. Todd Lean. Chamber update. Good morning, Todd.
Morning.
Hey, Todd.
So actually just a few items of, for your calendars, quick update on the Harvest Fest, just, give you numbers on that. The newspaper and the group kind of estimated we had about 1,000 people attend. So, and we also based that on what the retailers told us they gave away in candy, so.
Gotcha.
So it went really well, and we got a lot of good reviews on it, and just thanks for letting us use the square to be able to put that event on.
Like you had a lot of good activities. That's what I heard from comments.
Yeah.
Lots of.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on, and of course the weather always helps when it's good weather, so. And speaking of that, you probably saw when you came in, all of our volunteers from Nishnawatna Valley REC putting up lights out there to get ready for the holiday lighting ceremony. So that'll be the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And of course, that's Small Business Saturday too. So just a reminder to folks to get downtown and shop and take advantage of those deals. And one of the things we're going to do to help them come downtown is we'll also have a recipe walk going on at the same time. So while you're downtown shopping, you'll be able to walk around the square and sample some good recipes. And if you like them, you'll be able to grab the card. So looking forward to getting that done.
REC is doing all the decorating for you?
REC, what they were looking for a volunteer project, and so I was talking to Janelle, and they've got, I gotta remember off the top of my head, but there's about 30 people out there right now helping put up lights. And
wow.
I've got Sharon, just kind of organizing it all, and it's going to be great.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, and very helpful, and of course I wouldn't mind if they did it every year.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. So, then we do have our Santa in the Cabinets coming up on December 8th, and then finally, if you haven't heard, Matt Sternberg is leaving the vet clinic here in Harlan.
Yeah, I did see that.
And so on December 16th at 10 in the morning, we'll be having a ambassador visit to not only thank Matt for all the great work he's had here in town and wish him good luck, but also to welcome Kristen Westergaard, who's going to be the new owner of the Harlan Vet.
Where's she hail from?
That I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out when we go have an ambassador visit with her. So, yeah. But so no, it's sorry to lose Matt. He's been a really great asset to the community, but I'm sure that Kristen will be great coming on board. So. Other than that, we're in event season right now for the chamber. So
we got a full schedule.
We got a full schedule, and Santa Claus is going to be spending a lot of time in our backyard, so it'll be good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2022-49. Board of Supervisors resolution of support creating a countywide EMS system. Mark, would you mind reading the resolution? It pretty much summarizes our support here.
Sure. Resolution 2022-49 of the Board of Supervisors of Shelby County to partner with community stakeholders to develop a county-based ambulance service. Whereas ambulance service is an essential service and citizens of the county have a reasonable expectation that ambulance services be available in times of need. whereas the Ambulance Commission of Shelby County, through a 28E agreement between the City of Harlan and the hospital, has contracted with Medevac Corporation to provide ambulance services, whereas the owners of Medevac have informed the commission that they intend to retire in the next 2 to 4 years and cease operations as an ambulance provider. Whereas there is a severe shortage of both paid and volunteer EMTs and paramedics nationally, causing the cost of operating an ambulance service to increase significantly. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors should actively engage with community stakeholders, including the City of Harlan, Shelby County, Chris A. Murchew Memorial Hospital, Emergency Management Association, fire departments, law enforcement, and county EMS volunteers to develop a county-based ambulance service and funding mechanism to assure the long-term sustainability of this critical and essential service. The mission statement and goals of the stakeholder group will be the following. Provide a high-quality EMS system which assures a comprehensive approach to best serve the citizens of Shelby County. The committee goals are: number 1, develop and establish a plan for countywide EMS system in Shelby County that works in cooperation with county, city, hospitals, and all volunteers. This plan would be based on the continuum of emergent patient care, including 911 calls, transports to the county hospital, and transports to a higher level of care facilities. Number 2, provide care at the highest level in the most cost-effective way to the taxpayers. And number 3, plan for sustainable, unified, and fiscally responsible ways to support the volunteer agencies while providing 24/7 ALS.
Thank you. The stakeholders group, I don't know, Gene, we've probably been at this, Alex, 6 months at least. So we've had stakeholders from all the groups that was mentioned in here, trying to work toward a county-based ambulance service. This resolution is just saying that we're committed to being a partner in that. And next, our goal here, we have subcommittee groups of planning how the ambulance service, what it would look like. We have a finance group, we have a PR group to get the information out to taxpayers. So the goal here is to put a vote before the people of the county on making the ambulance service essential next November, so a year from now. So it sounds like a long ways away, but there's a lot of work to do. And just last week, 5 counties in Iowa passed this resolution to make their county an essential service for ambulance service. So it's not just Shelby County, it's across the state and really across the Midwest where this is happening. And it's because we don't have the volunteer base we have. It's getting older, they're retiring, not a lot of new ones coming in. It's getting very expensive, trying to find EMS people and services like Medevac that are out there. And so that's why we want to bring it to the people. And so that's what this really is all about. Also, the county will be at July, we will be joining the Ambulance Commission as a bridge for a couple years, hopefully to get, 1, to get the vote enacted, and 2, to get things in place. So we will be funding to some degree a share into that Ambulance Commission, and we'll be talking about that at budget time. So, because we all are a player in this. So, any questions or anything you guys that are involved, Alex, Gene, if you want to add to that? So, did I miss anything?
So you're not saying that for sure the county will be the financier of this? I mean, that we would be doing the hiring? You don't know that for sure yet, right?
It's kind of looking that way,
okay.
But we'll know more. The people will know when we come vote on it.
Okay.
Because we're looking at county being the head base, we've looked at hospital, the city has looked at it a little bit, and so we're trying to do what's the most efficient way to do that, and where, you know, we need to decide where that's going to be headquartered at. There's a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
You know, I want to say kudos to all the volunteers in our county. They have saved this county millions and millions of dollars for the services that they provide that we have taken for granted. Because when you call 911 and you want an ambulance, you just expect it to be there, but it's not like, I'm going to say, the Sheriff's Department, 911, where it's an essential service. You would think it would be, but it hasn't been until we go through all the steps here and make it that. So I want to say thank you to those volunteers, and we need you moving forward here. Because like I said before, we're looking at what's working now. So there's some things working good now, and there's some things that are not working so well. And so we need to put all this together.
Would you explain to them what essential service means? I mean, when I hear you say essential service, yeah, it's an essential service, but under the state law.
Under state law, it's not considered essential service. Why don't you go ahead and you can answer that better. You're the professional at it.
Essential service just basically means you get taxed for it.
Exactly.
So yeah, so like you can tax for law enforcement, for fire protection, but there's no taxation that is done for EMS. It's all funded under either a fire tax or pancake breakfast. So what we're going to be asking the public is, do you consider calling for an ambulance something that should be included in your taxes and that you pay for in your taxes?
Thank you.
And actually Carroll County, they've been doing that on their own for over 50 years. Mm-hmm. You know, we've just been very, very fortunate here, and that we had all the volunteer base that we have that kept our costs just extremely low, but we're running out of people. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So, do I have a motion to approve this resolution that we're going to be a key player in this?
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Darren. Any other questions, guys? With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Canvass, November 8th, general election.
That's me, huh?
Yep.
I gotta find my place.
Do you know any other election officers?
Not right now. Okay, what I need is I just found it and just lost it. I need somebody to make a motion or approve and designate me to compile the results, which they have been compiled, and present them to you
Second.
for approval.
Okay. Is that simple?
It is that simple. If you want me to read totals, I can do that, but the winners or whatever, it's whatever you guys ask. And then you approve the my compilation of the votes.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Yesterday, I'd like to make one note.
Okay.
Yesterday we did have the audit. They audited the absentee precinct, and it came out perfect. Matched the machines. They run it through the same machine again. It matched perfect with election day, and then they took them one by one and counted them, and it matched perfectly with the machine. So, and they do that just to ensure to voters that everything's being done right, and we do have good machines out there.
That's one last ulcer for you, right?
Yeah.
It
took 5 people 6 hours to do it yesterday.
Well, kudos to you and your election workers, because I think a lot of people don't know how long of a day that is for on election day.
Oh, yeah, and I thank them all the time, the PEOs when they show up, and I'm sure they get tired of it and I wear it out, but I thank them every chance I get, because that's...
Especially with this day and age with everything changing, with the security of it, so kudos to you.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the canvass for the general November 8th election?
Second.
Moved by Darren, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
Just a couple reminders. One, performance evaluations are due to Mark no later than the 9th of December. And second, just for our audience, our county land rent auction will be December 20th. Mark will be sending out notices and stuff about that coming up here in the next month.
It's scheduled to be in the paper, and if anybody wants a hard copy or email anything, I'd be happy to email it to anybody who's interested in renting next year.
Okay, with that, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.